Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to be talking about 3 surefire ways to force a card. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I just wanted to remind all of you before we get started that I just launched my new membership, the Mob Squad. You guys can join the Mob Squad by clicking the join button in the description below. I'll be doing shout outs. You guys will get exclusive access to all my tutorials and early access to videos and a bunch of cool stuff like that. All for just $1 a month, all just by clicking the join button down below. If you haven't already, I also encourage you to click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, all that good stuff, so you guys will stay updated whenever I release future videos. But anyways, in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about how to force a card. I've had a couple of people that are starting to kind of get into Magic and they want to know some surefire ways to force a card. Now, these ways of doing it are perfect for beginners, but I also encourage you, if you've been doing Magic for a while, to stick around and watch this video because I'm going to talk about how you can take these forces to the next level, because I see a lot of people not really using these forces to their full potential, or some people don't even like the forces that are on this list because they think that they're very obvious. But if you do it the way that I'm going to show you guys how to do it, it's a little bit less obvious. But anyways, so force number 1, this is probably the one that I use the most often, and that is the riffle force. For those of you who are not familiar with it, the riffle force looks like this, right? Let's just say I want to force the 8 of hearts. I'm going to riffle my thumb down the side of the deck. All you have to do is just say stop whenever you like, okay? Right there is okay? Perfect. 8 of hearts, right? So right off the bat, it's just a really easy and fair way to force a card. But what I see is a lot of people actually not doing the riffle force the correct way. A lot of people will do it, they'll maybe do it like this, and they'll try to stop at the actual place and then like show the card. Or if they do it with the thumb, they try to stop at like the actual place and then they try to break it there. Or what I'll see people do is they'll riffle with their thumb like this, and they'll just like let go and then like do the move like this, right? So here is how you sell the riffle force. So the riffle force itself, all you have to do is just have the card that you want and have a break above that card with your pinky. And when you're riffling down the side of the pack, you stop anywhere that the spectator wants, right? So you can stop like up there, you could stop down here. The beautiful thing about this force is you can go like this and you can go, is right there okay, or do you want me to keep going? And they can say keep going. Let's just say they say stop here. What you're gonna do, you don't wanna just let go and then do this. Like I've seen so many magicians do that. They do the riffle force right there, and then they like let go, and then they like pick up the deck, and it just totally defeats the purpose of doing the riffle force, right? So you do the riffle, you stop, and you say, is right there okay? Or you can even say, is this okay here? They say yes. And then as you go to pick it up, then you're gonna do the move. And all you're doing is you're keeping this open. So you see like right there, they say yes. And as you're coming in, these fingers cover, then you let go, and then your thumb is just gonna pick everything up from the break. So that's all that's happening. And then you can show the card. So that's a good way to execute the riffle force, right? So the way that I get into that is I have the card on the top, and I just say, I'm gonna riffle my thumb down the side of the deck like this. All you have to do is just say stop. And I do this gesture and I cut the deck and I have the break. So now my pinky is above the force card, right? Say stop when you want. Right there is okay. Perfect. And then you show the card, or you can toss the card on the table, or you can hand it to them and they can look at the card. So that is the riffle force. The second force that I wanted to show you guys is the Hindu force. Now, the Hindu force is one that a lot of magicians don't like, again, because they think it's super obvious. For those of you not familiar, the Hindu force looks like this. Stop, boom, right? So let's just say I wanted to force the King of Clubs. You just have it on the bottom of the deck, and you just cut cards from the top of the deck like this until they say stop, and then you show the card, right? Here's a cool subtlety that you guys can use to make the Hindu force look more convincing, and this is one that I use all the time. Again, we're going to force the bottom card, the 8 of hearts. I'm going to shuffle the cards just like this, okay? All you have to do is just say stop. I'll show you the card, and then we'll use that card that we stop at, okay? Say I'm good, say stop. Right there, 8 of hearts. So all I did was, so like we're going to force the 4 of spades, right? Rather than grabbing the whole deck and taking cards off the top, I'm actually grabbing the middle part of the deck and stripping the cards out from the middle of the deck. You can show this, right? And then you do it again. You strip cards out from the middle of the deck. Strip cards out from the middle of the deck. You see how the bottom card changes every time? So it's going to reinforce in their mind that the cards are changing because you're shuffling them, right? Now you don't say this. You don't say like, here, notice that the cards are changing every time, right? Yeah, isn't that interesting? Well, you don't say that. You just, I'm going to shuffle the cards just like this, right? And all I want you to do is just say stop. I'll show you the card like this, and then that'll be the card that you memorize. Say stop whenever you want. Stop, force the card. So that's the Hindu force. Last but not least is the cross-cut force. Now, a lot of people hate the cross-cut force because, for those of you not familiar, essentially you're going to have the spectator cut the deck, set it down, and then you're going to take the bottom half of the deck, turn it sideways, put it on top, so that you make like a little cross. And then you're going to say, you're going to pull out this card and show it to them. And they're supposed to think that you cut to this card, but really this is the top card of the deck, right? So like if I turned the top card over and I did the cross cut, right? So we cut that, that goes there. You can see, right, that the card that they cut to is really just the top card of the deck. That is obvious. You probably will get called out if you do the cross-cut force that way. So this is how I do it. Now, of course, you need a table for this. I'm a goof and I forgot to get my table set up. So I'm gonna have you guys just try to follow along. But what you'll do, so let's just say you wanna force the top card, right? The 8 of diamonds in this instance. Give the cards a mix, however you know how, so that you can keep the 8 of diamonds on the top of the deck, right? And then you set the cards down and you ask the spectator, go ahead and cut the deck for me. Don't complete the cut, just take the top half and cut it off onto the table. They do that, right? You're gonna leave the 2 halves sitting there for a minute. You're gonna talk to them, you're gonna explain to them what's gonna happen, and halfway through your explanation, you just say, oh, sorry, hold on one second. You take this and you set it on top, right? And you say, before I continue, I just want to make sure I mark the spot. And then you go on to finish talking about what you're talking about. And then, then you'll say, go ahead and lift off the top half of the deck and turn over the card that you cut to. So in reality, you're doing the exact same thing, but you're adding something which we like to call time misdirection in there. So all time misdirection is where you literally create some space, some time from the time that the thing happens to the time that the card is selected, so that people kind of forget what happened when you were doing the move. They kind of forget which half is which. So you have them cut the deck and you start explaining, you know, like right over here on this whiteboard, I actually have, sorry, hold on. You know what? Let me go ahead and put this here. That way we don't forget where we cut to. But over here, I have a white, you know, like a white envelope, and inside I have a prediction. Let me go ahead and take this out, open the prediction. On the other side of here is a card. What card did you cut to? Go ahead and lift the top half of the deck. They do. Turn over the card that you cut to. They do. 8 of diamonds. My prediction says 8 of diamonds. So by adding that little bit of time misdirection in there, you're gonna make the cross cut, it's gonna be more effective. It's to the point now where I can perform a cross cut force and I'm never gonna get caught. Just because you have the charisma, you're performing, you know, and you're The cross cut is one of those things that you don't want to make too much of a move out of also. When I say making a move out of it, you don't want to say, all right, so we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to put this. And you see how it looks like a little plus sign? That is so that we can mark the space where you cut to, so that later when I go to take the card off, we will remember which half is the top and which half is the bottom. Like, you don't want to go into all of that. You want to kind of not make it a move, right? Like, they cut the cards and then you just want to say, you know, let me just put this like this just to mark the spot that we cut to. Anyway, so blah, 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 patter, 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 misdirect, misdirect, misdirect. Remember earlier how we cut the cards? Go ahead and take the top half away. Turn over the card that you cut to. They'll forget that that's the top of the deck, because in their mind, they'll think that what happened was they did this, which is not the case. What the case is they did this, which is a little bit different. Does that make any sense? I hope it makes a lot of sense. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned something from these three forces. I did not teach the forces in extreme detail in this video, just because there are a ton of resources that you guys could use to learn these sleights. I encourage you to go do that, find those resources to be able to perform these moves. If you guys have any questions about these moves, or if you guys have any recommendations for moves that I didn't talk about in this video that you think are very helpful and how you guys like to perform them, I would love if you leave a comment in the comment section below and let everyone know about that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.